Remains divided. Voters appear to shun party loyalty in several states, giving way to a rise in split ticket voting in this election cycle. States like Nevada, New Hampshire, Vermont, electing Republican governors and Democratic senators. In Wisconsin and Kansas, voters chose Democratic governors and Republican senators. In Georgia, GOP Governor Brian Kemp won handily, but the Senate race there went to a runoff with Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock slightly ahead. We're still waiting for those results, but we saw big differences in the margins for governors and Senate races in states like Ohio and Pennsylvania. And Leland Vittert, host of On Balance, is joining us right now. Leland, I know you would think, people would vote for their governor and they'd want somebody with the same agenda in Congress, but it's not the case. So what's behind all this split ticket voting?
Well, political scientists and journalists have loved this concept for decades, and now it's finally happened, which is the idea that who the candidate is might matter more than what party they represent. And in each one of these cases, it's something different. The one theme that we see that's probably been the most consistent, where you see these big margins, New Hampshire, Ohio, Georgia in particular, is where you've got a very Trumpy Senate candidate, very, Trump endorsed, extraordinarily MAGA based candidate on the Senate side, and a kind of traditional MAGA agnostic Republican governor on the governor's side. And that's where we're seeing the most pronounced ticket splitting. And that speaks to exactly the issues that we've been talking about all along, which is what type of conservatism are people willing to vote for, and how much will they accept of sort of a feeling of unease with a candidate, as people had with Herschel Walker, certainly with Don Bolduc in New Hampshire, in order to elect Republicans.
Well, it seems as though, and we're hearing it from both sides, parties, Democrats and Republicans, people are wanting more moderate candidates overall. So what could all this split ticket voting mean for 2024?
Well, it depends on if anybody listens, right? There's, in terms of whether or not the parties go along with this, fair enough that in certain cases, the more moderate seeming Democrat won against the more firebrand Republican in the ticket splitting idea. I don't think you can really make that argument, say, about John Fetterman over Mehmet Oz.
Right.
I'm not sure you can really make that argument over Raphael Warnock over Herschel Walker, that one was more moderate than the other. Warnock never really exposed any kind of moderate ideas. It seems to have more to do with a feel of a level of comfort, and in a sense of sort of the MAGA anger than it does the actual policies.
What about swing states or swing votes, independents? A lot of them voted for Democrats in key races. What was behind that, do you think?
Well, a week ago, you and I talked on election eve morning, and what we talked about was that who defines the field of battle wins. If this was an election about the economy, and if this was an election about crime, then Republicans won. If this was an election where moderates and independents cared about abortion and threats to democracy, then Democrats won. And what it turns out is that more people cared about abortion and threats to democracy, and that's what they were voting on, rather than the economic issues. And very simply, the pollsters underestimated the amount of Democrat and independent turnout, overestimated the amount of Republican turnout. Pollsters were wrong again, this time just in a different way. Rather than undercounting Republicans, they undercounted Democrats.
Do you expect that we're going to see any course correction, especially when we consider what Democrats and Republicans faced in these midterms for the Congress, and exactly what decisions come out of Congress and out of each party as a result of some of these midterm exit polls that we're seeing?
Well, if there's going to be moderation by either party, we haven't seen any nod to it. Josh Hawley, sort of the MAGA acolyte, if he would certainly like to be called that, from Missouri, talking about how we need to basically blow up the Republican Party and move more MAGA. And he's certainly somebody who is seen as having serious presidential ambitions. And then on the flip side of it, you have Democrats who would say, why should we moderate at all? We just won. We just pulled off a historic victory in every sense of the word, winning state legislatures, winning and gaining potentially in the Senate, but certainly keeping control of the Senate, and potentially keeping control of the House. For Democrats, it'd be hard to find a reason for a Democrat to make that argument that the rest of the party couldn't say, wait, what we're doing is working.
But really quick, and I know we have to wrap up here soon, but Leland, don't you think that the Republican Party did prove one point that they are chipping away somehow at some of the Democratic strongholds because of how tight the races were? I mean, yes, they lost in a lot of them, but the fact is it was within a 1% margin a lot of times.
Not really.
No, you don't think of that. Okay. See, I was thinking of it with Pennsylvania. That was a tight race. I was thinking of it in Arizona was pretty a tight race. Nevada.
John Fetterman outdid Trump and outdid Biden.
Okay.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.